Welcome everybody. Today I will be showing you how to use Adobe Illustrator and teaching you pretty much everything that you need to know about the program. I'll be showing you how to make logos properly and also how to put in a sketch and take that sketch from paper to computer and turn that into a logo. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Create New and then make your canvas size 3000 by 3000 pixels. This is usually a pretty good size for pretty much any logo that you're creating. It's usually more than enough for digital logos. If you do need it to go a little bit bigger, then you can always do 5000 by 5000 pixels. Generally, you don't want to make it any lower than 3000 by 3000. This is a good size for giving logos to your clients or for someone you are working with. So we're just going to go ahead and create it. Alright, and I'm just going to go ahead and drag and drop a sketch that I made earlier today. Here it is. Alright, so this is our sketch. I'm just going to scale it down a little bit here. And one way that you can turn this sketch into a vector relatively quickly is make sure you have the actual layer highlighted, and then you can go to Object, and then you can go to Image Trace, and then you can go to Make and Expand. So as you can see, Adobe Illustrator pretty much found all of the darker paths in the sketch and turn it into a vector, but we need to actually make sure that we have these paths separate from one another so that we can edit them. So one thing that you can do is you can go to your direct selection tool. If you have any weird dark space over here, you just go ahead and delete all of that. So usually when you actually have the logo traced, you'll also have the white background with it. There's a very easy way to get rid of this, and this is actually the first essential tool that you'll need to know when learning Illustrator, and that is called the Shape Builder tool. The way that you use the Shape Builder tool is you can go and click Shift M, or you can go on your toolbox right here. This is the icon for it, and then make sure that when you're highlighting over the white space, you hold Alt on your keyboard, and then you can just click it, and that will get rid of all of that white space. You also might want to go ahead and get rid of the white space in your individual letters. There might be some white space in small spots over here that you might want to get rid of. So this might take you a little bit of time. You can always go ahead and, in order to get rid of these dark spots here, just take your direct selection tool and highlight them. Just like that. And so I'm just going to be going through using the Shape Builder tool and deleting all of the little white spaces. So again, while I'm doing this, all I'm doing is I have the Shape Builder tool selected, and I'm just holding Alt and basically killing off all of the white space that I don't want within my actual type. And this might take you a little bit of time. So once you're done all that, once you cleaned everything up, you can press Shift, Control, Alt, and S on your keyboard. This will bring up the Save for Web. You can also save for web through the File tab up here. And make sure that when you are saving for web, that you go ahead and you zoom into your logo and you make sure that there's no actual white space within your type. Obviously, this is just an example for the tutorial, so I'm not going to be clearing out absolutely all of the white space. But if you are using this method where you're taking it from sketch to your computer, then you're going to want to make sure that, there is no white space, that you have it just as a pure PNG. Make sure you're saving it as a PNG as well. And yeah, there you go. That's how you take a sketch from paper to your computer. So another way that you can create logos in Illustrator, instead of image tracing from pencil to digital, you can just go ahead and use the pen tool, which gives you a little bit more control over exactly what your sketch looks like. So if you press P on your keyboard, you'll take out the pen tool, and if you're familiar with Photoshop or any other Adobe program, then you're probably familiar with the pen tool. So I'm just going to start my anchor point over here, and then for straight lines, you're going to want to hold shift on your keyboard and it's going to make it completely straight. And just go around whatever sketch you have and make sure that it all lines up with what you had on paper. So I'm just going to be doing this really quickly. I'm going to probably speed through this part and then we'll get to the next step. Here's a cool little trick that you can use if you're pen tooling. You can go over here to where it says gradient. This is your gradient window. If you ever need a window that you can't particularly find in Adobe Illustrator, you can go up to window and toggle it on over here. But as far as my gradient goes, I have it right here. We're going to want to go ahead and switch over to transparency and make the opacity a little lighter so that you can see the actual sketch underneath. This is better than reversing it to a stroke, because typically when you reverse it to a stroke and then back to an actual fill, it's going to mess up your pen tool. So this is just an easier way to keep moving forward without messing up your pen tool. So after you're done that, you can just go ahead and finish off the pen tool, and then once the pen tool is finished off, you can go ahead and put the opacity back to 100%. Alright, so we have our sketch here. Real quick, I'm just going to be turning these into a darker color, and the way that I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to be selecting all of them, holding shift, and then you can go down here and click the dark color that you want, and then the sketch underneath, I'm just going to be hiding it so we have the actual just pure vector. So obviously the top part here seems pretty lined up, but the bottom part here does not. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go ahead and fix this line up and make sure that it lines up. So I'm just going to be selecting these individual anchors using the direct selection tool, which is right underneath of your selection tool. And I'm going to go ahead and click on one of them, hold shift and click on the other. And then I'm going to be holding shift on my keyboard and pressing the up arrow until I see it line up. So that looks decently good. We're going to leave it at that. And as far as making variations for the logo goes, this is actually a really quick and easy way that you can do this. You can scale down your logo, and then by holding Alt on your keyboard while having all of your different layers selected, you can just go ahead and drag off of it and it will make a complete duplicate of what you have made. And so let's say I wanted this part to be curved. So we're going to go ahead and click on that anchor point and then click on this little circle and drag it back, and this will actually make perfect curves for whatever you need in Illustrator. This is a very easy way to make curves, and as you can see, it's just clicking on the point and dragging it, and we can make pretty much perfect curves to whatever degrees you need. And the actual radius of the curve, it shows up right next to your cursor, so if you're not sure exactly how much of a curve you have, it will tell you right next to your cursor. So as you can see, we just made a variation of that logo where it's curved, and let's say we wanted that to be the final. We can highlight the old layers and drag them into the new layer, and then we can lock it and hide it, so we just have our new logo here. And then we can highlight it, scale it up by holding Shift and Alt on your keyboard, center it, hit Shift, Control, Alt, and S, and as you can see, we have the logo here. Very nice, very clean. And so yeah, this is basically all that you need to know about Illustrator, the small little tools that you need to create logos or type or bring a sketch from paper to digital and create logos that way. So I hope this video helped you. If it did, leave a like, leave a comment down below if you have any questions or anything in general for me, and I will see you in the next one.